What's going on, guys? Glad I caught you today. Just heading back from the gym, and I had a thought. What's the number one thing I ask myself before any workout? What's my purpose here today? What's my mission? What's my style? What am I gonna go in and focus on today? That's gonna be the topic of these next 3 videos, which I'm breaking into 3 because I can't imagine you guys sitting and watching through a 30-minute video of mine. We're going to talk about the 3 main styles you need to encompass in your training regimen that are important for muscle development as hard gainers and ectomorphs. Those are endurance style training, strength training, and hypertrophy. This first one we're going to go over endurance. But all 3 of them are critical, and I wanted to give enough time to discuss the importance and how to properly utilize them, structure them, and I don't want to try to squeeze that in all in one video. So stick around, we got some interesting content. Whew. We're back. Okay, out of the big 3 structures today, we are going to start with endurance style training. Now, I don't know if any of you all have heard about these styles of training before or not. I'm going to go over them as if you have no idea what I'm talking about. Endurance style training is going to be higher volume, more intensity with your workout. So basically your structure is going to be more of the 15 to 25 rep range. So you're doing your sets and you're going to increase how many repetitions you do, how many sets you do, how much volume is incorporated in that workout. Now, the whole purpose of this is kind of in the name. It's endurance. When you're training, you want to train your muscles to be able to fight fatigue, and you can basically have longer workouts and have more stamina. The whole purpose of this is stamina. For other styles of workouts, you want to be able to last, for lack of better expression. You want to have yourself, you want to have your body primed and prepared for high intensity like the other styles, but that also requires stamina. So when you train your muscles for higher volume per workout, it increases that stamina and gives you more endurance. Now here's something else that is incorporated with endurance style training. When you are doing anything else like heavy weight and you're trying to work on 1 rep maxes or any of the hypertrophy style training, you're using your prime movers, your main muscles like your glutes and your chest and your traps and your quads, all these main primary mover muscles. So when you start to go into the higher rep range and you get to the area where they're not used to, 15 to 20, 25, and you're starting to really feel that burn, your stabilizer muscles kick in. And those muscles don't usually get worked in anything sub 6 to 8 reps because they're just not needed. The power, the main primary movers are what is being activated to hit these heavy movements. But when they start to tire out because they're not designed for that, that's when your stabilizer muscles will kick in, and those need to get worked because those will help you with balance. And balance creates better form, and better form prevents injury. Another use of endurance style training is going to be for day-to-day activities, day-to-day things you encounter in life. If you're carrying a lot of groceries home from the store, you got a long way to walk, you got to carry them up the stairs. Or if you're moving furniture, or if you're carrying a backpack all day that's really heavy, any of these things, because you're doing it for a prolonged amount of time, requires these muscles that you're only going to activate when you're doing more volume workouts and actually reaching those levels of stamina that are matching that. So when you're doing something for a prolonged period of time that's a regular day-to-day activity, you can help prepare for that by doing things that require more stamina in the gym. So these also help you with things that have nothing to do with actual building of a physique, but just functioning in the real world. Here's a question that pops up for a lot of people when they are introduced with this style of training. Is it more sets or is it more reps? What do you do? It's what you feel, because everybody's body is different. So if you go in there and you do the same amount of sets as you normally do for any workout, you just increase the rep, lower the weight and increase the reps to 20%. If that is what works for you, do it. It doesn't work for everybody. Sometimes you just need to incorporate a bunch of different styles of training that fit into this category. All right, now I'm going to give you some different styles of training that have nothing to do with these rep range. These are things that you can incorporate that might work better for you because it all is what you feel. One thing you can try is circuit style training, which basically incorporates you doing a lot of different exercises back to back as quickly as you can. You do a circuit. You go around, you pick about 4 or 5 different exercises and do them in succession with very minimal rest between, if any at all. Then you have your rest period. This is something that gives you the ability to not necessarily add more reps if that doesn't work, but you can change your volume construction. So you'll do a bunch of different exercises back to back and do those for a certain amount of sets, and then you're getting a lot more volume in, and the whole thing about this is volume. Something else you can do is supersets, which you can go back and forth between 2 exercises or 3, doing all opposing muscles, so kind of like a circuit but downsized. Another thing you can do is drop sets. So you can do a bunch of different sets of the same exercise back to back to back without rest, but you're lowering the weights. So you can continue to hit your proper rep range despite the fact that you're fatiguing, but you're compensating by lowering the weight. So if you're doing lateral raises, you'll do the 20s for 15, the 10s for 15, the 5s for 15, boom, 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 and you will be absolutely annihilated. This basically just means you can find ways to still get in that higher volume and still hit that fatigue of the muscles and increase that stamina without just doing a typical workout but hitting higher rep range and lowering the weights. Because if you do it this way, you can still start with normal weight. You're just adding more to it, especially something like drop sets. You're still, as long as you're hitting your 12 to 15 rep range and you're hitting a normal weight you would for a regular workout day, but you're adding lower weights to get in more reps and more volume. Something that I will tell you though is you want to do the high reps every once in a while. If you find a style you like, go ahead and encompass all of them if you really want. But if you find a particular style you really like and you're a circuit man and you're going to do those, do it. Every now and then, you got to throw in those high rep ranges. You've got to just do a day where it's a normal style of training, but you're hitting your 15 to 20 to 25 rep range of things. Because the principle I have found that works the most for results and muscle response is variety and pattern interruption. That word is so critical. When you are lifting, anytime you do anything different, you will see the most response. And that's the whole reason that I'm telling you guys to do these 3 different styles of training, because that'll keep your muscles on their toes enough as is. If you throw in more curveballs just within those, you're going to see results so much faster. So make sure that if you stick to one you like the best, still throw in the other ones every now and then, especially higher rep range, because if you show up to the gym and do something that your body's not expecting, you will see the most results and you will feel the most worked at the end of it. Muscle confusion is always the most important thing that you can stay focused on. It's a thing a lot of people forget, and that's the main cause of plateaus, is when you keep doing the same thing and you don't ever change anything or throw any curveballs or do different adaptations to workouts, your muscles will just settle in what they're doing. They'll know how to do it, they'll have mastered that, and there will be no more development. The most important principle that I'm gonna make sure you remember, because I'm gonna tell you for all 3, the most important characteristic of each one of these styles is you wanna be explosive with these. This is intensity, this is high volume, and so if you're gonna get through it, you need to be explosive. Stay true to your form, don't get flingy all over the place, and don't go super fast that you're getting too much momentum. Keep a decent tempo, but speed is more important, especially for the concentric portion, which is the effort of the pushing or the pulling, whichever is moving the weight in the opposite direction of gravity. That is when you want to be explosive and you want to really just force things, because that's the way your muscles are going to really be able to get through that level of a volume for a workout. The last part about this is structure. I'm going to basically give all the excess information since this is the first video, and I feel like I had the least amount to say about endurance, so to keep it in the time range, I can still add all the other details. This encompasses the other 2, and this has to do with how you're going to break these apart and when you're going to do these and how you schedule these 3 styles of workouts. Hypertrophy is the most important, that's why I'm covering it last. So if you have 4 weeks in a month, you want to do hypertrophy, endurance, hypertrophy, strength. You want to get hypertrophy twice, and you want to get the other 2 at least 1 week, and you want to have everything spaced apart. Now what I mean is, when we get into workout structures, which is coming up, we're going to talk about how you're going to hit individual muscle groups every week. That's a routine. That's a cycle of workouts every week. So you're going to end up hitting everything for that particular style of training each week. So you're going to hit all your different workout days in a week for endurance, then hypertrophy, then strength, then hypertrophy again, and then repeat back to endurance every month. So that way you got everything balanced, nothing's right next to each other, everything is covered. So that's the way I have structured, and I recommend to you guys to keep yourself organized and help make sure everything gets hit. In conclusion, for endurance style training, the whole reason I even encompass it into my workout, and I'm going to tell you this for each one of them, is what they do to help the others. All of them work together to have the best results and the quickest muscle growth. This one helps with endurance to help you get through the other two. This one basically gives you the ability to maintain your energy and your efforts through the duration of the other styles of workouts. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is a part 1, so all 3 of these videos will come out in succession, back to back, basically within a week. So stay tuned for strength training, which is next, and then we will hit hypertrophy after that. Thanks again for stumbling in to Conquer Fitness. Please subscribe, and I will see you all next time.